welcome to this year's coverage of wrestling here at the high school level. We're at Winton Woods for the opening home meet for the Warriors, and with me is the new head coach of the Winton Woods Warriors, Jason Dean. Jason, tell me, what's it like being, now you're in charge of driving the bus?
It's a real good experience. Okay, I've been doing this about 19 years now, and I felt like it was time to just, try to see if I could do this on my own. I have good help, though. I have some really good assistants helping me out.
Who are those assistants?
I have Sean Lambert, who wrestled at Mason, and I have Dave Orr, who was a state placer for Northwest a long time ago, and then Coach Tom Nelson, who's been around the game for a while, came from New York.
What about your background, Jason? What's your background in wrestling?
I wrestled at Harrison back there when Coach Reed, Vance Reed, came there my sophomore year. And then I coached with him for 6 years at Harrison before going on to Mason, where I was for 10 years. And in the last few years, I've been coaching at Lakota East.
So how would you assess can you draw a comparison to where you've been and where you are now?
Well, it's a different world, but it's a good experience. It's kind of comparing to when I went to Mason, and I was the head junior high coach there for about 5 years, and then starting from scratch really. Last year's team had 6 guys on their team. And this year I think we're up to about 25 kids, and I'm happy just to start with numbers. We're really young and experienced, but it's kind of like coaching junior high again because we're real young.
Yeah, I see that in your lineup you're really heavily lodged with the freshmen and the sophomores. Is that by design, or is that what's happened?
It's pretty much both. It's what happened, but it's great experience for those guys. A lot of them are first year. I only have in the line, for example, today, one guy, actually 2 who have ever wrestled high school matches before this year. So it's good for our future. We're going to go through some growing pains this year, but our future, if these guys can stick with it, there's a lot of potential there.
What's the biggest adjustment you've had to make this year?
That's a good question. Going back to the basics, I guess. We're starting from scratch. A lot of these kids, like I said, first year, first time ever on the mat. Wrestling's a new sport for even a lot of them. So just the wrestling mentality, what we expect out of them, not only on the mat but off the mat. We want to teach them how to, be good human beings as long, and wrestlers, because the sport teaches you a lot. You learn a lot on and off the mat. And I think, the biggest thing, people ask, what's a successful season? I'm not going by wins and losses. It may be, that all my kids stay eligible in school all year, or that I'm able to keep 25 kids, or, reality, I'm really not going to know for another 20 years. When these guys, if they're good fathers and husbands, and good people.
What about goals? What about kind of goals you have for this season?
Well, pretty much like I said, I'd hope to have an injury-free season. Keep the grades in the classroom. That's the most important, is their classroom, because they are student first. But if my kids, I told them if they go out and just give it all every single day, I'm happy, with the effort. Like I said, I'm not looking at wins and losses. It'd be great, but I want to see the growth from the beginning of the year to the end. I just want to see some growth, and I want to see them work hard, and I want to see them succeed, like I said, on and off the mat.
Winton Woods has had pretty high turnover in coaches over the last 3 or 4 years. Where do you see yourself and the program next year or the year after that?
That's a good question also. But I think I'm excited, though, about it. I'm excited the direction we're going. Like I said, we got a very young team. Almost the whole lineup is freshmen or sophomores, except for one senior. And as long as these guys stick with it, we can do a lot of damage the next couple of years. I'm not going anywhere for a while. I started something. I want to see this through. It's one of the reasons I took this job, is because I wanted a challenge. I wanted to see, I didn't want to take a program over who, because I've had many offers in the past, but I didn't want to go into something that's already built in there. I wanted to see, let's start from ground zero and see if we can build something and make something work here. And I love the kids that I'm working with. These are great kids.
Yeah, it's interesting because you and I talked back at the end of last season, and you said you were considering this, and I said, well, what's this all about? And you said, I've paid my dues. I want to go out on my own. I want run my own show, and this is what I'm meant to do. So I guess you're here.
Exactly. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the support.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck. Bring the Warriors some wins here along the way. I know it's going to be a tough struggle for a while, but perseverance is a very important part of the sport. And if you're an example of perseverance, those kids are going to follow you. So best wishes to you, and we'll look for you down the tournament trail at the end of the year.
Thank you, David.
Okay.